Okay, I want you to meet someone. His name is Ramesh Babu, he's from Bangalore, and his life is just a series of incredible contrasts. See, by day, he's a pretty humble barber, but he's also a billionaire with a car collection that would make actual royalty jealous. His own company website kind of puts it perfectly. This is not your typical business school case study. It's a B2B story, from barber to billionaire. So the question is, how on earth did he manage to do that?
And that right there brings us to the central puzzle of this whole thing, what I'm calling the billionaire barber paradox. It's the story of two completely different worlds colliding in just one person, a profession known for, modest earnings, and a collection of supercars that is anything but.
So let's just ask the question straight up. How does a man who to this very day still cuts hair for just 100 rupees own a fleet of over 400 cars, including some of the most expensive, most sought-after vehicles on the entire planet?
Well, to really get the answer, we've got to rewind the clock. We have to go all the way back to the beginning, because his journey wasn't just humble, it was incredibly, incredibly difficult.
So picture this. It's 1979. Ramesh is only 7 years old when his father, a barber, suddenly passes away. His mother has to start working as a maid, and little Ramesh starts doing all these odd jobs, delivering newspapers, milk bottles, literally anything he could do to help the family scrape by. Then, at 18, he makes this huge choice. Instead of going for more education, he takes over his father's old barber shop. And by 1993, just through pure grit and saving every single rupee, he buys his very first car, a Maruti Omni van. And that little van, well, that would change everything.
And let's not just gloss over how hard it was. In his own words, he said, "We took to having one meal a day just so we could survive." I mean, this wasn't just a tough start. This was a daily fight for survival. And that kind of experience, it forges a work ethic in you that just defines everything you do from that point on.
So, Ramesh has his first car, that Maruti Omni. He starts a little side business renting it out, which sounds like a pretty smart move, right? But he almost immediately slammed into a huge problem.
Turns out he had just entered what business strategists call a red ocean. The market for renting out small, everyday cars was totally flooded. The competition was brutal, the profits were tiny, and pretty much everyone was fighting over the same little piece of the pie. His small rental business was basically drowning.
But this is where the story takes this absolutely brilliant turn. Instead of fighting harder in that bloody, crowded market, Ramesh decided to find a completely new one. He decided to find his blue ocean.
So what is a blue ocean strategy? Well, it's all about creating a brand new market where there is no competition. So instead of trying to beat your rivals, you just make them irrelevant by offering something totally different. Ramesh looked at this crowded sea of Maruti Omnis and asked himself, what if I went in the exact opposite direction?
And oh boy, did he go in the opposite direction. In 2004, he took the single biggest gamble of his life. He took out a massive loan and bought his first ever luxury car, a Mercedes-Benz, for 40 lakh rupees. For a small-time barber and taxi guy in 2004, this was an almost unimaginable amount of money to risk.
As he said himself, he was terrified. I mean, can you blame him? Everyone told him he was making a gigantic mistake, but he just knew he had to take the chance. His logic was so simple, but so powerful. While everyone was fighting tooth and nail over the low-end market, absolutely no one in Bangalore was offering brand new, high-end luxury cars for rent. He had just found his blue ocean.
So did that incredible, life-altering risk actually pay off? Well, it didn't just pay off. It created an entire empire, built on the very paradox that we started with.
And this is the wildest part. To this day, Ramesh Babu is still the barber giving haircuts for 100 rupees, but he's also the billionaire who rents out his Rolls-Royce for 50,000 rupees a day. He keeps his feet firmly planted in both of those worlds. The salon, he says, keeps him grounded, while his car rental business, Ramesh Tours and Travels, is what fuels his incredible growth.
And from that one single Mercedes, his fleet has just exploded. Today, he commands over 400 vehicles, and we are talking about the best of the best. A Rolls-Royce Ghost, a Mercedes Maybach, multiple top-of-the-line BMWs, Jaguars, Bentleys, he even has high-end superbikes. He completely, totally dominates the luxury rental space that he basically invented out of thin air.
So who rents these cars? Well, his client list is basically a who's who of India. We're talking Bollywood superstars like Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, and Aishwarya Rai, plus top politicians and corporate titans. When the absolute elite visit Bangalore, they call Ramesh Babu.
So when you strip it all back, what can we actually learn from this incredible story? What are the real keys to success from the barber who built a billion-rupee empire?
It really boils down to this simple three-step blueprint. First, he dared to dream way, way beyond his circumstances. Second, he wasn't afraid to take a massive, but very calculated risk. And third, and this is the most important part, instead of competing where everyone else was, he created and then completely dominated his own niche market.
And that really just leaves us with one last question. Ramesh Babu found his uncontested market in luxury car rentals. It just makes you wonder, in a world that feels so crowded and competitive, what overlooked opportunities, what undiscovered blue oceans are waiting right there in front